Hello and welcome to another Ask Nerida Joy video. I am here with a new model today and her name is Carol. And I met Carol about close to 20 years ago. I used to work next door to her. And I know she back then was struggling with her skin, oiliness and pitting and scarring. And when I ran into her again 18 years later, I see that she's still dealing with her scarring and pitting. So I said to her, please come in and be a model so that we can work on your skin and really, pick it up and get it in a good place. So I think her skin is a lot better than I remember, but I'm interested. I hadn't seen her. I haven't really seen her skin in a very long time, many years. So I'm looking forward to actually taking off her makeup and having a look at her skin. So that's what we're going to start with. And as we go along, I'll be asking Carol questions too about her skin. So we'll pick up from there. So let's cleanse off her skin and see what's under there. So we're using our K cleanser, our famous gel cleanser. Now, Carol, just before we get started, is there anything in particular that you know that you might be allergic to, or have you had any sensitivities to anything over the years that maybe have not been successful for you?
No, not really.
No, everything's good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put some goggles over Carol's eyes and we're going to bring the light over and have a look at her skin. I remember Carol's skin, actually her skin is a lot healthier than I remember, so I know she's been working with it, with feeding it a lot of nutrients, because I can tell the quality of her skin is a lot better than it used to be. But what we can see is that her pore size is still quite large and she's still dealing with some pitting going on, which has been, it's something that we can see on her cheek area here and up onto her forehead as well, which will move up here and just have a look at the forehead there. And you can see she's got some scarring and pitting on her forehead, as well as just slightly enlarged pores. So her skin is really clean. It looks really clean. So I know she's doing a good job with her cleaning, which is great. And we're just going to turn the head over to the other side here. And there we've got her right cheek. And again, scarring and pitting. And you can really see almost the dimpling in the skin, which of course is the pitting, and it's from years of acne, but we'll check with Carol on that too, how long she's been struggling with it for. So Carol, would you mind just sharing with us how old you were when you first started with your acne?
I want to say I was like in my late teens.
Late teens,
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it was more like every time I got my cycle,
Yes.
I would get like the cystic now and then.
Okay,
And
painful
yes,
cystic
the
nodules.
painful ones.
Yep.
And I honestly think, not knowing I'm my parents' first child, my mom would, with her fingers, try to clean it for
Okay.
me, which now I know you're not supposed to touch
The
your
big,
face.
the
Yeah.
painful ones, right? Okay.
And I think that's how it all started.
And did you sort of have it everywhere straight away, or did it sort of?
No,
it
because
just.
if I look at pictures, it's one here and there.
And then how did you develop more of the pitting on the forehead and the cheeks as time went on?
I'm not sure.
Looking at your skin, because I remember what your skin was like a long time ago, and I can see it's a lot healthier now. Mm-hmm. So the healthier the skin, the less pitting you see, because your skin used to look a lot more pitted. Do you remember, when I remember back looking at your skin, I remember it being, a lot more pitted than it is right now. So obviously the health of your skin is better, so it doesn't look as dimply as it used to, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
For some time, I did try microneedling. No, I'm not sorry. Microdermabrasion.
Oh, microdermabrasion,
Yes.
Okay. And how many microdermabrasions did you have?
I probably did a series of 15.
Oh, okay, quite a lot.
Yes.
And did you find, was it really helpful for you?
It was.
Yes.
But then I was told by an esthetician that over time I would get like little varicose, like
Oh,
a
okay, the little blood
spider.
vessels. Yes, capillaries.
So the little capillaries. So then I got afraid and I just stopped doing the
Okay.
treatments.
So, yes, I mean, the microdermabrasion, because of the suction, it does suck the little blood vessels up to the surface, and that's why you do have to be very careful when you are a finer, more sensitive skin with the microderm. But when you do have pitting like you have, and when you have those larger pores, any sort of sanding and anything that you do topically is going to be beneficial to your skin, as well as working with products that have your alpha hydroxy acids in it and your retinols that really help strengthen the dermal layers in your skin. So the combination of the microdermabrasion and the products, which we're going to be giving you some stronger products tonight to use at home, that is what's going to really help your skin bounce back. So once you start on the stronger retinols and that, I'm looking forward to seeing your skin in a month and just to see how much better we can get your skin. But I remember your skin from before, and you have, it is a lot healthier, and healthier is good because that means that you're going to get better results faster. And your skin, of course, it heals a lot better. So a lot of the time it is really important on an oily acnetic skin to keep it really hydrated. And hydration is different from nourishment, because an oily skin, we don't want to nourish it, we don't want to feed it oil because it already is oily. So you just want to work with products that are going to really help heal the skin and work on the many different layers within the skin. And that's what your alpha hydroxy acids do, especially if you have a product that is a complex, an alpha hydroxy acid complex. And what that is, the alpha hydroxy acid complex, it's your glycolic, your lactic, your malic, tartaric, and citrus. So it's all your different molecules of different weight and size, and they work on different levels in the skin because they go to different levels in the skin. So when you are dealing with scarring and acne, which you've seen my videos in the past too, and I've mentioned this back then, it's really important that you work on all the levels in the skin when you're dealing with acne and scarring in particular, because it affects all those levels in the skin. So that's why dermabrasion and even some microneedling, which quite honestly, I'm not a huge fan of for a lot of people. But if you have pitting and scarring, sometimes the microneedling, because it stimulates collagen and it changes things up a little bit, sometimes you can get movement and improvement with scarring. I'm not a lover of microneedling for someone like my skin or someone who has melasma, because there is, it can affect the melanocytes, the pigment cells, and make your skin uneven and blotchy. So I understand that, but it is effective for people that do have scarring, and it is something that Carol could probably benefit from a little bit of that. So we're going to do an exfoliation now. We're going to be using the exfoliating mask, and we're going to work it into the skin for a little bit. She has really good skin, and I mean, in most of my videos, as you know, you would be listening to me talking about, oh my God, their skin is so dehydrated, because most people that I'm working on, their skin is really surface dry, and it's such a problem for people. So because surface dryness it doesn't allow anything to get in, it doesn't allow anything to get out. So if you're oily and acnetic, it's a big problem. So you've got to keep your skin soft and supple so that oil and everything can work and get out when it needs to get out. So, but Carol's skin is actually, I know by looking at her skin, she's really good with her regimen. She is a very dedicated, I'm going to do exactly what I'm told kind of client, because I remember where her skin used to be, and her skin is much healthier now than what it used to be. But again, we want to take it to that next level, because that's what we do. As Estes, working with our hands, we can do a lot with product, and that's what's so great is we have so many amazing products now that we can work with retinols and AHAs, and we can really pick that skin up and bring it to the next level. So I'm going to do the exfoliating mask on Carol's skin. Sometimes, as you would see in my videos, I will mix this with the healing gel, which is a 98% aloe-based healing gel. Today, I am not. Carol's skin is not super sensitive, looking at her skin, and so I can work with it directly on her skin. And I'm going to work it in and leave it on her skin for a little bit. This one is a papaya-based enzyme. It has a buffing effect on the epidermis, and it has a little bit of chamomile in it. And what's great about exfoliants that have a buffing effect is that they're really good for everybody. You know, they're good for people that are a drier skin with surface dryness and an oily skin with surface dryness, because it gets rid of that dry outer layer, and it has a brightening effect on the epidermis. So that's what's really great about this exfoliating mask. I'm a huge fan. It's so funny when I have people come see me from my YouTube channel to have a facial, because when I put this product on them, they say, I know this one. It has a buffing effect on the epidermis. So they're so funny. I have the most fabulous fans out there. Thank you. Okay, so she will feel a little bit of tingling with that. I'm working with it up around her eye area. The only area that I would say that Carol might be a little bit surface dry is around her eyes. And but it's very slight. She is really not that surface dry, and it's very, very unusual living here in California to not be, especially here in LA, you know, to not be surface dry, because most people here are surface dry. Now, you don't want to use really hot water when you're taking it off, because this exfoliating mask has a little bit of glycolic in it, which is what makes it a little bit tingly on the skin also. So with anything that has an acid in it, you don't want to be using hot water, because it's going to burn the skin a little bit. So this is just lukewarm water. I told Carol when I saw her earlier, I was not sure what I would do on her today, because I hadn't seen her skin, and that I would decide once I had her on the table whether I would be doing just working with strong AHAs and retinols or doing a peel on her. But what I would like to start with today is do an AHA and work with stronger retinols on her. And that way, when she comes in next month, when we'll see her skin again in a month, I would like to do a stronger peel on her at that point. So she still gets a little bit of a breakout down around her jawline. And, you know, in face mapping, we know that this area down here is the large intestine. And what that really means is that, you know, people that tend to get a lot of congestion down here but have a really clear skin, for those people, they're the ones that maybe need to just look at their diet a little bit, or you know, do exercise and things to stimulate the large intestine, the meridian to the large intestine. In one of my videos, I showed the exercise for that in stimulating the fascia lata to the meridian to the large intestine, just to help get it moving. So, you know, sometimes even just massaging on the stomach, it all helps with moving that large intestine. And sometimes, you know, congestion here is congestion in your large intestine. So for a lot of people, that Carol doesn't have a lot, but she has a little bit. For a lot of people, you know, going to the bathroom once every 3 days is normal for them. But, you know, it's not normal that's a healthy thing to do. So it is really important just to be conscious of food combinations too, that sometimes, you know, there are certain foods, everybody's so different. It's just finding what works right with your body type. And that's why, you know, I've mentioned in the past about constitutional acupuncture and just finding out what foods really support your body type, because that's what's going to support everything to be functioning really healthy and moving as quickly as it should. So Carol has a little bit. She has, because some of these spots down here I can see are a little bit painful too. So she's, you know, she still has a little bit of activity with her hormones, and but her skin is really very clean. It's mostly dealing with the fact that she has her pitting. So that's what is a major thing. And we're going to see a big improvement around this jaw area once we get her on her products to her home regimen. So she has not been using the products before, so she will be starting tonight with those, and we'll be excited to see her in a month and see how her skin is looking. I've also asked Carol if she would share with us over every week, if she would just mind sending in pictures and just to show her the progress of her regimen as she's going along. So we'll be able to see that in the next video as well, which will be great. So I'm using a little bit of eye gel here. Remember, there's no double dipping with the Q-tip. And this is the area that I said earlier where she's a little bit surface dry. She gets a little bit of color around her eyes, but she's her eye area is even a lot better than I remember it being, which was many, many years ago. She's doing really good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to massage into her skin a stronger retinol, a professional retinol. I'm going to put a little bit of healing gel on first because we did take off the exfoliating mask, and I like to use the healing gel after any type of acid, and the exfoliating mask does have a little bit of glycolic in it. So we're going to put a little bit of the healing gel on her skin, and I'm going to massage in the stronger retinol right now. So what we have on her skin is we've cleansed her skin, we've done the exfoliation of her skin with the exfoliating mask that has a papaya and a little bit of glycolic in it, and she's got a little bit of healing gel, she's got some eye gel around her eyes. Now we are working in the stronger retinol, and the stronger retinol, as you can see, it's quite yellow in color, and I absolutely love this product. It is so amazing. It is a professional retinol. It's not a drying retinol. It almost feels a little bit oily. It is an extraordinary product, and it smells amazing. So we're going to work this into the skin for a minute. And once I've worked it in for a few minutes, I'm then going to add just a drop of the Q flavonoid, which you've all heard me talk about so much because it's such an extraordinary vitamin for the skin. But as I can see with Carol's skin, she has been feeding it a lot with her other line she's been working with, because I can see the quality of her skin is really, it's flexible. And that's the one thing about, what we want in a skin. We want a skin to be healthy. And a lot of the time when you see a skin like Carol's skin, where she is really oily and she does have just a lot of blackheads in large pores, she's got that pitting on her cheeks. The one that usually their levels are so dehydrated, which is what we saw in Twee's video, where her levels were just so dehydrated. She had the pitting and the scarring, but really, really dehydrated levels. Whereas Carol's skin is a really hydrated, very, very hydrated skin. So it's very dewy and very flexible. And this is really wonderful because this is what makes the skin healthier. So we're going to get really good results for Carol because she's already at that place where her levels are really healthy. And that's wonderful. So we're still working in that retinol formula. As you can see, I'm not using any mask, that my usual massage cream. I've just got eye gel, a little bit of healing gel on, and the retinol formula, and I'm just working it into the skin. I do want to do a stronger treatment on Carol because her skin's already really healthy. So I just want to work stronger, and I want to try and help with that pitting and scarring as much as I can. We've got such a hydrated skin here, so her skin levels are really healthy already, and that is a huge plus for what we're going to be doing. So next shoot, we're going to be actually doing a peel directly on her, and that will be great to see what happens with that as well. Okay, so we've worked that in for 5 minutes. Now, what I do get asked a lot on my channel, under my comments section on my channel and on my Instagram, is people see me taking product off, and they ask me, when they purchase it, do I take it off at home? Now, a lot of the time, no, you don't. The only things you're taking off are things like your cleanser, your exfoliating mask, or other masks. But everything that I do, I have something in mind when I do a treatment, and I've got to treat many different things. And so I need to be putting things on and feeding it a little bit here or doing something, and then I need to take it off for a reason and then be applying something else. So the Q flavonoid stays on the skin when you put it on at nighttime. Some can use it in the day if they are wearing a makeup with it as well, because it does have that yellowy color, and we're going to add a little bit of that right now too and work this into the skin so you can see the color of it. And we're going to be working this into the skin, and I'm just going to work it in for a minute, but we're just putting it on over top of the retinol, and we're just going to work it into the skin. So everything has a purpose, but I'm taking it off here in treatment because I need to be doing other things after that. So for home care, it stays on your skin. It's just what I'm doing here is just a bunch of different things for different reasons. So we're going to work this in for a few more minutes. Retinols are really great preps for things. That's why whenever, if you're going to have a peel, or even if you're going to have a peel with a dermatologist, a lot of them will put you on retinol to use for 6 to 8 weeks just to prep your skin, because that way you're going to get better results. So just know that. Now, I'm obviously, I say this in all my videos, I never, ever, ever recommend prescription retinols because they are too strong. And they are one molecule. And what we want to do when we're working with retinols, we want to work with retinols that have a complex of your vitamin A, which is your A1, your A2, your acetate, your palmitate, your retinoic acid. And we want to be working with all these different molecules because that's what works on different levels in the skin. Different molecules are a different weight and they're different sizes and they go to different levels in the skin. So it's really important that you have the multiple array of what we call a complex to be able to work with scarring. Now, the prescription strength retinols work for some people, but most people cannot use them on a regular basis, and they end up either not using it at all because it makes their skin really ruddy and really surface dry, or they just use it a couple of times a week. And some of them, I think, are mixing it with moisturizers. I am a huge fan of retinols and I use them myself every single night. But what's really important is to get the benefits of it is that you need to use it. So using it every single night is great, but you just don't want to be using something too strong that's irritating your skin, which is why I never recommend a prescription, because a prescription is a prescription for a reason. And vitamin A is toxic in large doses. It is absorbed into the bloodstream and it will affect your liver, which is why when people are put on Accutane, they have to have a blood test every 3 months to make sure that their liver is okay. So it's really important that you know that and are cautious that things are prescription for a reason. So we don't want to take them unless we need them. We're removing the retinol here and the little bit of the Q-flavonoid that we have on Carol's skin. And these are quite warm, and I'm just going to cool them a little bit. So now I've taken that off, which again, normally for home care, it would be staying on the skin, but I am now going to be doing an AHA on her skin. So I'm going to be shaking up my fruit complex number 1. Okay, so I'm going right here, I'm just splitting a cotton round because I don't want it to absorb too much product because it just wastes the product. So I'm going to put it on with my fruit complex number 1 on with a cotton round because I can get it on her skin nice and even and quite quickly. And the one thing for a lot of us esties out there, it's a lot. Sometimes we have so much to do on somebody's skin and so little time to get everything done. So we want to do as much as we possibly can in the time that we have our client on the table. And so time is of the essence always, whether it be that we're extracting or whatever it is that we're doing. We just want to be able to get our product on and get it on as quickly as we can so that it's doing its work. So anything that will save me time in getting stuff onto the skin, which is a cotton round here, is perfect. I'm going to layer over top of the fruit complex number 1, I'm going to layer the normalizing formula. And why I'm layering the normalizing formula is because around this part of Carol's face, she's broken out just a little bit. So the rest of her skin is really good. It's clean. She doesn't, her skin is, she's very, very good with her cleansing at night. She's really, really good. I can see she has very, very minimal congestion under her skin, but she's a little broken out around this jawline. So what we're going to do is we're going to layer over top with the normalizing formula. And again, we're going to get it on her skin quickly. So we're going to just layer over top here. Now this one might be a little bit stingy on her more than the other, and it can make the skin a little bit red. So this one here is an acid, a professional product that is designed especially for oily skin. So we are going to use it on this area. Don't forget to go out by the ears. Most people that are oily are going to have blackheads inside their ear, and that's very, very normal. because oil gets everywhere when you're an oily skin. So it's important to clean that area of the inside the ear from the little blackheads. So what I use for cleaning the ear is my little tool, and I use the very small end, and you can just go in and they usually easily come out with the little extractor for the ear area. So Carol just has a couple, and here when doing the ear, there's no blood, they come out very easily. So I've just got some cold water, and now we're going to remove the AHA. So her skin is still going to be tingling a little bit, and we left it on her skin about 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of healing gel on, and now we're going to put the purifying mask on her skin. So we've done the Fruit Complex number 1, and I put the normalizing formula, which is the AHA that's designed especially for oily skin, around her jaw area where she was a little bit broken out. We left it on 5 minutes, we've taken it off, and now we're putting the purifying mask on. And we're going to leave this on about 8 minutes. Usually when I do the purifying mask on somebody, I'm having to put something on over top of it because they're so surface dry. But because that is not Carol's case, which I think is honestly probably about the first model I've had in here that has not been surface dry. Most people are surface dry when they come in, and the fact that she is not so surface dry is so great because it shows me she's been really good with her regimen. And not only really good, what she's been using has been good for her too. So we are just going to change that up. I know she hasn't been working with retinols and AHAs in the past, and retinols and AHAs are going to take her skin to the next level, and that's what we want for her. So we're going to put a little bit of eye gel around Carol's eyes. She's got the purifying mask on her skin. We're going to leave it on 5 to 8 minutes. And I do not want the mask to dry up around her eye area. If you remember, I'm not double dipping, turning the Q-tip up the other way. If you remember what I said in the beginning, is it's the only area on Carol's skin where I see a little tiny bit of dryness, and that's around her eye area, but her skin is excellent. Okay, so we are back, and we've left the mask on, the purifying mask on Carol's skin 5 to 8 minutes. We're now going to take it off her skin, and we're going to be removing it with sponges here. Now Carol's regimen for her home care, her nighttime regimen is going to be using the K-cleanser twice, the usual way that I recommend, which is your first cleanse. You massage it well into your skin in circular motions, getting under any fine facial hair, and then you take it off with a warm, wet washcloth, a clean, warm, wet washcloth. Your second cleanse, you're massaging it well into your skin, and then you are rinsing it off with lukewarm water. After that, she will be putting on her healing gel, and then she will be putting on, I've given her the Q and a retinol serum to use at home, which is not quite as strong as the retinol formula that I've used on her in treatment, but she will be using that at home as her nighttime regimen. So it's really very simple. It's a cleanser, it is the healing gel, and it's going to be a little bit of the Q and a little bit of the retinol serum together at night. And she will be using eye gel around her eyes at night. I like to give the gel to people that tend to be more oily because it's really good. It's hydrating, and it's also really good for dark circles. But it doesn't, if a little bit gets down into an area where it's really oily, it's not going to overnourish those areas. And people that tend to be really oily, they have sebaceous glands, oil glands, very close up underneath or close up near sort of either side of the nose. So we want to make sure that they're not overnourishing that area with an eye cream. So Carol's eye product is an eye gel. Now, she will be doing that 4 nights a week. The other 3 nights a week, she will just be using the K cleanser, and she'll be putting on a conditioning formula, which is a skin conditioning formula that is especially for oil activity. It helps dry up sebaceous activity. It is a clear liquid. It goes on the skin, and nothing goes under it and nothing goes over it. It stays on the skin at least 6 to 8 hours. So it's always good to use it at nighttime so you can go to bed. And that's it. So it's only 2 products. The other 3 nights a week, she'll be using the conditioning formula or the skin conditioner, which in the retail strength, it is the skin conditioner. She will be using that one 3 nights a week. So cleansing and just putting that one product on. And again, it's a liquid. It goes on the skin, on a clean skin, nothing under, nothing over, and it helps dry up oil. Her daytime regimen is going to be the Rejuvique cleanser. And she's only going to be cleansing once with that in the morning. And then she has the healing gel again, which I always recommend people that are oily, sensitive and oily, whether they have rosacea or just very oily skins, to always use the healing gel after cleansing. And you use a small amount of that, and then she's going to be putting on the GAHA serum. She has the tinted sunblock, which is mostly a physical block, and she'll be using that in the daytime as well. And then as her skin starts to get better, I'm going to introduce a light moisturizer for her. But right now, that's all she needs. So again, her daytime regimen is cleansing once in the morning. She'll be putting on a little bit of healing gel, and she'll be putting on the GAHA serum, and then her tinted sunblock, which is a great non-comedogenic sunblock that is really good for oily skin. So, sunblocks are very tricky, and you want to make sure that it is not comedogenic, and that's very, very important. And even a line that I worked with more recently, that was an organic line, their sunscreens were so comedogenic, it was, I couldn't believe it. So organic doesn't mean it's great when it comes to whether something's comedogenic or not. Just so that you know that. If a lot of people think that if something's organic, it's really good and it's really healthy for you, and it's not that it's not good for you, but they're very often comedogenic. So we're just removing all the traces of the mask here. I'm good for leaving mask around the nose area. And most Esties out there will be laughing because they understand what I'm talking about. It's either going to be a little bit under the chin or a little bit around the nose. So here we have Carol's skin. We've removed the purifying mask. I haven't got anything on her skin right now. Her skin looks really good. You can see this yellow around here is all from the Q-flavonoid. It's the retinol also is a little bit yellow, so she definitely has some of that yellow staining around the headband here. But her skin looks really clean. You can see how clean her skin is. It's really clean, a little bit broken out here, but we're going to have her back in a month because she's going to be doing her home care regimen, and you're going to see a big improvement. So I'm excited to see her. I'm going to be putting on a stronger retinol and a little bit of healing gel now, which she'll be going home. It's later in the evening over here. So we will be, so she'll be going to bed. There's no need for sunscreen. And so what I put on her now is what she'll be going to bed with tonight. So we've taken off the mask, the purifying mask. Her skin looks great. It's very clean. It looks wonderful. I'm putting on again a little bit of eye gel. It's late in the evening over here. So she will be going to bed this evening. So what I put on her skin right now is what she's going to go to bed with. I'm going to mix a little bit of my Q-flavonoid and a little bit of retinol together. When I put it on her skin, I'm going to put just a smidgen of healing gel on her skin right now. So a very, very small amount is going on her skin. And then we're going to put on a little retinol and a little bit of the Q-flavonoid. And I'm using the professional retinol, so it's a little bit stronger than her home care one is. So putting on the retinol here first. You can mix it together when you're doing it at home. But once you start mixing, of course, it starts diluting. So for some people, I would put on the Q-flavonoid first, and I'd put the retinol formula over top. And that usually is a skin that needs feeding, that is really, the levels are really dehydrated or dry. But in Carol's case, her skin is really healthy underneath, and it's so hydrated. And this is a very unusual case that I see. So I know that she's been very, very good with her regimen. And also I know she's been having treatments, regular treatments with an esthetician. And that esthetician has been doing a really, really good job of hydrating her skin. And you have to have a hydrated skin for your skin to heal. So if her skin wasn't hydrated like with Twee, we had to hydrate her levels before we start to see improvement. So in Carol's case, she's already really hydrated, so now we can jump in straight away and we can start working on her pitting and scarring. This is a Q flavonoid that I'm working into her skin right now, and this is how she's going to be going to bed. So Carol, we have done a treatment on her. It has been a pretty simple treatment in that we have we've cleansed her skin. I have done not any extractions on her skin today. Her skin is very clean. She's breaking out a little bit around the jaw area that we saw, but very minimal, not anything to be squeezing. As I said, her skin is very clean. This is an unusual case for most of what I'm seeing with with clients that come in here. So we've cleansed, we've done an exfoliant on her, we've worked in retinol, we've worked in a little bit of the Q flavonoid, we have done a fruit complex, which is an AHA complex, and then we also did a little bit of the stronger one for the oily, more acnetic skin around her jawline. We've removed that, put on the Purifying Mask, and we have back on her skin right now a little bit of healing gel, retinol and the Q flavonoid, and she's going to be going to bed with that. We've put a little of the eye gel around her eyes, and I've asked her to take some pictures for over the next month until we see her again, and just to show us the updates on her skin. She has her home care regimen that she'll be taking with her today, and she'll be using that, so she'll be taking some pictures for us so we can see. And I'm looking forward to seeing her, as I know you all will be looking forward to seeing her skin too in our next video. So thank you so much for your support. Please subscribe and like if you like. And we'll look forward to seeing you again for our next shoot in 1 month. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.